Hello, and welcome to the initiative order for this morning's inaugural. Oh God! First, see, this is what this is what happens when my ADHD goes. No, you don't have to keep up with the script that Danny sent you. You're totally good. But welcome to the first session this morning, bright and early on this Saturday morning of Conan Wave-Stained Crimson. Before we jump into today's session, I quickly want us all to go around the table to introduce ourselves and to talk about who we're going to be playing today. So I'll go first. I'm Logan, and I will be playing the game master for this session and all the sessions to follow. We'll go around clockwise, so we'll start with the wonderful Tristan.
Oh God. Hi, I'm Tristan. I will be playing Tidus, the Argosian pirate. That's all, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, next.
I have a character.
Yeah, you have a character. You're doing things.
Yeah.
Aislinn. Uh-oh, you're muted. You're good. While we're waiting, we'll go to Andrew.
What is up, everyone? I'm Andrew J. Landy. Today, playing the role of Asim-Chenzira, a Stygian mercenary.
Awesome. Aislinn, you got it working?
Yeah, this is why I have two mics, in case the better one decides it hates me. I'm Aislinn, and I'm going to be playing Katrina, a Argosian scholar.
Awesome. Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Fred Copeland, a Stygian scoundrel.
Oh, yeah. And last but certainly not least, the wonderful Shelby.
Hey guys, I'm Shelby, and I will be playing Zuri, the Zamorian scoundrel as well.
Awesome. All right. Well,
A lot of scoundrels.
A lot of scoundrels. I mean, pirates are scoundrels in their own way too.
Don't put that on me. You don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. Well, now that our faces and names and who we're playing are all out there, we are going to get into the absolutely amazing trailer that Danny put together. The intro.
You have a trailer?
Yeah, we got a trailer for the show.
To watch this?
Yeah,
This is awesome.
We get to watch it. Danny did an amazing job, and I'm gonna roll it right meow. And welcome back. Sorry, that was quicker than I thought it was going to be. I'm looking at Shelby for facial reactions because I can't say shit. I can't, and it makes me mad. Every word I say, I have to make sure that I'm checking with Shelby's facial expressions to ensure that I'm not going to get verbally tormented by her. But yes. So, our adventure begins in the ocean, aboard the Ebony Rose. The 5 of you, for your various reasons, have all come aboard the Ebony Rose to travel from Argos to Shem. Lord Amarius had chartered the ship for his own reasons under the merchant Captain Zohar. And in the past couple of days, you would travel out, staying closer to the coast to avoid pirates, stopping at night at the local ports in order to resupply, go ashore, rest, relax, and go about various escapades of your own. Today, however, we find ourselves in open water. You've been traveling for the majority of the day, and as night begins to fall, the sea and the ship becomes becalmed. The water silent and still, no breeze in the air to shift or change the course of the Ebony Rose. Captain Zohar feeling safe in the moment that it's just, bad, normal kind of weather that, while bad and considered often as an ill omen, is nothing that him and his crew can't get through or get across. Decides to lower anchor and to take the night's rest, or at least the night shift, until the waves and breeze shift in the favor of the Ebony Rose here at sea. Before we move into what is to happen next, we're going to go in counter order of what we did with our introductions, and I'd like you all to give a brief description of who your characters are. So we'll start with Zuri.
So Zuri is a traveling merchant with their friend Fred. Sorry, Logan, where did we come from?
You traveled from Argos around the area of the estate of Lord Amarius.
Yes.
There's a port there near the border between Argos and I believe it's Mezantia, as I look in the wrong book. But like right about there, right about there.
Got it.
That's
Right
why I
about
have
there.
this. And so now you're about like here-ish in open water.
Got it. So we've just traveled from Argos, climbed aboard this ship so that we can sell our wares at further destinations. Zuri is a dark-skinned human with very ornate and beautiful travel wear. Zuri wears a silver long sleeve tunic, the purple vest that goes past their waist, a long dark blue coat, lighter purple velvet, only the nicest things for Zuri, because if you want to sell something, you can't look basic. No, you have to have a presentation, and Zuri, from head to toe, it's all a presentation, all a show, all inviting and fancy. You want to know what they're selling. They also have tattoos on their hand, last minute edition, that in their home language says the golden rule across their hands. Beautiful pauldron on their shoulder, leather across their chest. The long coat could be hiding a couple of things. We don't know. You'll have to ask them. And right now, I think you said it's approaching dusk, or is it night right now?
It would be kind of dusk, night, where you're definitely setting into the wee hours of the day and early evening. Light is starting to fade and it's getting darker out. The oil lamps are being lit on the ship as you guys are kind of finishing up dinner and wandering about and finishing up whatever last minute things you want to do before bed.
Yeah. So I think Zuri's probably on the deck, chilling. They're very sociable. I think by this time now, they're probably on a first name basis with the entire crew. It's good to make good relations everywhere to better sell your wares.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely something. You'd know good enough of the crew to get around, and those you don't know, you quickly would be able to make friends with. Awesome. Next, Fred.
So similar to Zuri, because they travel together, Fred is a saleswoman, let's say. That's a nice, gentle way to put it. And she, besides that, seems very opposite to Zuri. Whereas Zuri is very showy and sociable, Fred is more likely to be in the background, is wearing clothes that very much would blend in with the crew and the other folks on the ship. Whereas Zuri knows everybody's name on the ship. Fred recognizes faces really well, but is much more likely to just sit back and let her companion do the talking, which is what she's doing now. She is here with Zuri on the deck, but is just kind of there almost as an observational presence more than anything else. She's not very personable, and she knows that. So, might as well lean into, what you know. Yeah, I think that's the not very exciting introduction to Fred here.
Oh no, perfect. Everybody needs somebody to compliment them. So the pair of you obviously have found each other and found where you guys support each other and also excel individually. Next, Awesome.
Oh, what is up? I forget that's the name I gave. Asim-Chenzira. He's a Stygian. He's 6-footer, and he wears a brigandine long coat, and underneath that just a simple shirt because doesn't want the coat to chafe him. He carries a spear and a sword on him. As a mercenary, he's been hired for the weirdest task to him. Normally, he's used to fighting, but he's been hired as an emissary to help negotiate the marriage between two nobles from two different lands. So he's wondering how his skill set would particularly fare, considering this should have been saved for somebody else, particularly somebody who can talk better than he can. He's not much of a talker, but he will. Where you'd find him on, are there any benches on the ship? Just a bench?
Yeah, there's a couple. I would say there are probably a couple on either side that kind of give a general overview and look out into the sea.
As the ship travels and it's calm, you'll find Asim-Chenzira lying on a bench, propped up, and his head propped up by his helmet, his trusty helmet that he wears. He's not used to comfort either, but he's looking and wondering where his travel is going to take him next. And he's staring up into the night sky, thinking, what has he gotten himself into now?
Awesome. Next, Katrina.
So Katrina is one of the handmaidens for one of the nobles getting married, Lady Emirena. So Katrina has been spending a lot of her time in close proximity to Emirena, just out of, need. The two are both very similarly built. They look almost like sisters, but Katrina's much more plainly dressed, just some simple traveling furs, versus Emirena's more like, I'm a fancy lady get up, which is what Katrina prefers, as she has been spending any time that she's not with Emirena with the crew and just enjoying being on a ship. You'll find her a lot at like the bow of the ship, just feeling the breeze. She every so often just takes out a little notebook and is scrawling down notes in it. Pretty scrawny girl. Not big or burly. Definitely more on the like nerdy side. But she's been mostly keeping to herself.
Awesome. And last, Tidus, what have you been doing, and who are you?
Yeah. Tidus, tall, medium build, very tan. You would see kind of a woven leather, like a jerkin, sort of, pretty clearly armor of some kind, with a curved sword on his back, a wide-bladed dagger on his hip, ostentatious pants that are various colors, clearly patched up more than once, and like a shell kind of adorned what looks to be some kind of like fishing net, sort of worn as a kilt. And Logan, I'm sorry, we didn't. Is he part of the crew on this ship, or is he just on the ship?
I'd say you could. That. Yeah, I'd say you would be hired. You would be hired like extra crew, in case somebody got sick. So you wouldn't be like the crew proper. Tidus would definitely be somebody that would like have the experience needed to fill in anywhere in case of either emergency or sickness or something like that.
Okay, so he's bench warming for the crew just in case, and a little uncomfortable, sort of visibly uncomfortable being in the open sea this close to dusk, and he's probably at the bow on the seaward side, just sort of scanning the horizon a little bit.
I thought I hit. I must not have. But as the five of you are on the ship, and the sun sets, and the night kind of takes you all, you find yourself in your respective chambers. For Zuri, Tidus, Fred, and Asim, the four of you find yourself below decks, where they have prepared a couple of hammocks and bedrolls that function as your sleeping quarters amongst the rest of the crew. Katrina and the lady that you wait on have your own private rooms off of the general like galley area where the crew eats, underneath the helm of the ship. But as night takes you all and you fall asleep, would you guys have taken rounds, or would you trust in the crew of the Ebony Rose? That's my first question. And I think it would be two separate ones. So Katrina, would you stay awake, or would you and your lady fall asleep right away? And
we would probably fall asleep, partly because just not combat-y people. I'm squishy.
Perfect. Awesome. And then the four of you down below deck. You guys have that general idea of who each other are. You guys have introduced each other or been introduced to each other. May or may not have gotten to know each other a little bit more intimately, but at least know base name and kind of face and stuff like that. But would you have set up any sort of watch in the night?
Tidus definitely would have decided that this is a little bit sketchy, so we're gonna kind of keep an eye on things. Side question, would I have an idea kind of where we are in relation to where we're going? You're muted again.
Yeah, you would know that I was talking about pulling out the map on the book, because books have beautiful maps.
It's so good.
And I'm going to be opening up this a lot. So, but you would know you are probably roughly a day out from the city of Kemi, which is right off of the River Styx. Yeah.
That's not sketchy at all.
No, the River Styx borders the
Foreshadowing.
the countries of Shem and Stygia. But you guys are probably about a day, maybe two, depending on how the winds fare after from that inlet that leads deeper in, because you guys are probably going to Shumir would be the location in which your ship is to the Ebony Rose is heading. So you're probably about a day to two out from that inlet, but out in open sea. So you're definitely staying up, at least for a little.
He would stay up for just a little while.
Okay.
I think me and Fred trust no one, so we've probably have a system in place to stay up and take watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
kind
got
of
those
switch off.
goods.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Would you stay up if somebody else is up? Like if Tidus was up, would the two of you or one of the two of you be up?
I think so.
Tidus does not look
Yeah,
trustworthy at all.
we don't know him.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I'll say, and then I guess Asim, how about you? Would you stay up at all, or would you just kind of?
Considering that the emissary that he's working with is on the ship, I'm pretty sure he's going to stay awake.
Cool.
We're trusting you with our lives.
Yeah, bad idea.
I'm sure.
Would you fall into a rotation with the others? Like if you woke up, I guess would be my question. If you woke up and you saw that Tidus and either Zuri or Fred were up, would you stay up with them?
Yep,
Okay.
I would.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll say you probably would hop in or almost rotate with Tidus. Like when Tidus sleeps, you're awake, and that way when Zuri or Fred is awake, it's always 2 on and 2 off. What I need from you all is, as I forget to open up a character sheet for the very specific roles that I need you guys to make for these, because it's not D&D. So I look in the back of the book. I need you, Tidus, and either Fred or Zuri to make me an observation roll. So for that, 2d20. This is going to be a D1. Whichever one of you, out of Fred and Zuri, whichever one would be awake that first shift.
I'll roll it. And what is that a check for again?
An observation.
Okay.
That's 2 successes for me, a 6 and an 11.
And just the 1 success for Fred.
Awesome. Cool. So, Tidus, you generate a momentum point. Good news. So you guys now have 2. But as the 2 of you are sitting there out from one of the portholes from underneath the ship, you notice a brief... Fred, you don't notice this first part, but Tidus, you notice that the water kind of ripples and starts to pull up, where like you see this globule of water starting to rise from the window, like above, like inside of the window. And as it's doing so, Fred, you kind of turn and begin to notice that it starts to turn this very almost like dark green color, like a green flame almost, as it's rising into the air. It gets well above where the porthole is, and as the 2 of you kind of get up and move into that direction to go look out and look up, you notice that as it's moving up higher and higher, it's growing a little bit larger as it does so, as it seems to be kind of shifting up and over where the ship is. The light becoming brighter and brighter as it does so. With your additional success there, Tidus, looking out into the sea, you can see a giant ship, probably 2 to 3 times the size of yours, silently heading in your direction. And it's just in that moment, as you do, that you hear a bell ringing from up above and feet shuffling and the call of pirates being heard from the various crew members above you.
That's not normal. Fred.
Fred immediately reaches for Zuri and starts.
What?
We are getting up. Get up.
Does someone need something? Are we making a sale?
We're about to need something. Get up.
Okay. I'm up.
Asim, get up. Like, kick him in the boot.
Just come on, man. I been out here. What's going on?
Pirates, apparently.
Pirates? Great, cool. And he's gonna like slowly reach for the spear that's been laying right next to his hammock. Pirates, you said?
I can't tell if that's you or if that's
It got
awesome.
me going.
In both cases, it's great. I love it.
The answer is yes. All right, he's gonna just slowly get up, stretch, try to get up out of the hammock, and he's kind of using a spear as like as a walking stick to try to like, all right, shake it up. We gotta go. Oh shit! Where's the emissary? Do I know where the emissary's quarters are?
Yeah. So on the main deck of the ship, there is the helm is kind of up a set of stairs, and underneath is where the captain's quarters would be. Is where Katrina and Lady Emarina are.
Okay. I'm gonna look to Tidus, Zuri, and Fred. Let me go secure my special person. I'll be right back, and I'm going to go head up to their quarters to try to warn them.
So as you head up, and Fred, or not Fred, Asim and Zuri, you guys can see this green light coming in from the windows. It's a little bit shaded, and obviously drawn back. It's not as bright. But the second you step out, it's almost as if like veiled daylight was overtaking the ship. It's bright enough for you to see hand movements, very little shadow. It's almost like light cloud cover where it's that kind of grayish light, but it's this like brackish color green. And as you make your way to the captain's quarter, or where the captain's quarters is, where Lady Emarina is, you go through the first door, and there's a door on the left and the right. The left would be the galley where most of the meals are had, and then the right would be their chambers.
Okay. As Asim goes to the right door, he's about to knock and then hesitates, second guessing, wait, should I be interrupting them? What if we can just solve this without even bothering them? Oh, shoot. And his hand is right there, like, do I disturb them or not? And, okay, their safety, I have to protect their safety. And he just gently raps on the door, like, okay, I shouldn't be disturbing them, but I have to. I'm so sorry.
You let out this gentle knock. Katrina, it's been a couple minutes since you've heard the bell, and you can audibly hear the crew talking about pirates, the shuffling of feet. At one point, you can hear kind of like not like the scraping, but the picking up of weapons and like people starting to arm themselves. What would you and the lady be doing in the moments before the knock?
I would have been getting out like my saber, putting the dagger in my belt. Do we have a porthole? Can I see the same light they saw?
Yeah, so you have your room is is pretty well decorated. You have like a nice little area for you to like put good, like a trunk for you to put goods. You have a nice little like mirror that's hung up onto the wall itself. A single bed but you and your lady have kind of either been sharing it or one of you has been taking the floor. And then a small desk area where it looks like Captain Zohar would typically use it for plotting courses and things of that nature. Over the bed, like in between the bed and the desk, there's a single porthole, and then on the back there is a mostly whole pane window that looks out the back of the ship.
If I can see sudden light, I would be taking my notebook, kind of flipping through the pages. Based on my knowledge and my worldliness, would I know what's going on with that?
Good question. Do me a favor. Give me a lore check.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this a D2. So
Okay.
you need 2 successes.
I forget how to do checks because I'm
So you're gonna roll 2d20,
cool.
and then whatever your target number is, or TN, you need to get below that. Anything below that is considered a success.
Okay. And my target number is the top one.
Your target number, if you're looking on your character sheet, would be as I open up my book and 3 different things, it'd be all the way on the right where it says TN. It's a combination of your...
Oh, the top one and okay, I get it. Yep. That would be 2 successes.
Awesome.
My TN is...
So, looking out, you immediately recognize this as some sort of sorcery. As to the certain nature of it, you aren't super practiced in those arts, but looking up into it, it would take somebody with pretty good knowledge, pretty good resources, and a connection to some sort of otherworldly being to be able to conjure light of this magnitude, where it's able to, now as you're looking out the porthole, not only illuminating, you can tell just visibly from that amount of light, it's illuminating that ship, or your ship, but you also can see this massive ship coming towards you, and it's beginning to illuminate the deck of that ship as well.
Great. Awesome. This is gonna go well. As I'm looking at Emerena, she's arming herself as well, and then the knock.
Who is it?
It's awesome. Your salutationistness. Are you okay? We seem to have a problem. Are you okay in there? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. We will stay in here unless needed.
That probably the safest bet. We have. I'm sure we have enough to handle this out here. As you can hear the uncertainty in Asim's voice as he's trying not to sound uncertain.
Oh, Katrina's just giving this rolled eye to Emerena. Just.
Emerena takes a quick moment and looks to you, Katrina, and just kind of nods. All right, I'm going to send my handmaid to come assist you, Lord Asim.
Oh, my apologies. I'm no lord. I'm just I'm just here to help. That's all. But any help is appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
I know. I just like hearing you acknowledge that you are not a lord. And she kind of nods towards you, Katrina, and help them if they need to, but don't throw away your life haphazardly.
Wasn't particularly planning on that. Please don't die. That's just gonna complicate everything.
I know. I'll stay here if things, and I won't come out unless I am told that it's safe, and she kind of looks out the window, that is taken care of.
The trunk in here, Is it large enough for a person to fit in it?
Roll. Do you happen to have a D100 next to you?
Nope.
All right.
Wait. I might.
Wait, and I don't either.
I do.
Roll
because
a D.
they're my
Hey.
unfinished dice.
Roll a D100. Everybody should have a D100 or a D100 at the table. If they don't, it will. If not, that it's not that big of a deal because this is a house rule that I do for all of my games, whether they're D&D or otherwise. If there's something that isn't 100% set in stone, I make a player roll a D100. If it's a 51 or higher, that thing can happen. So roll a D100. And
That's a 92.
a 92, 100%. This thing is massive. It takes up. It's almost like a It's almost meant to be like to function not only as a chest but like as a counter space for whoever's working at the mirror that it sits behind. So you can easily open it up. You guys have belongings in there, kind of thrown in with some of Captain Zohar's belongings as well. But easy enough, you can kind of shift and move things and set it up where Lady Emarina can hop in.
Cool. I would want her to get in and then cover with like blankets and things like you're hiding your purse in your car. Just laying things on top of her.
Perfect. I'm gonna make you roll just for funsies to see how well. Roll a survival check. Survival check for me.
Okay. That's barely a fail.
That's what?
Barely a fail.
All right. So you didn't. So you rolled 2d20.
Oh.
You rolled.
Right,
Yeah.
two.
All rolls are
Oh.
2d20, and then you
Right.
roll. Yeah.
The first one was a fail. The second one was a success.
A success. Awesome. Cool. So one success. Perfect. You feel as you're throwing these clothes on top of Lady Emarina that she is safe, well secure. Nothing really like somebody opens the trunk, they're just going to see a pile of clothes. Unless for some reason she shifts or moves, but shouldn't be a problem.
Cool. And then I'm going to head out with Asim.
Cool. All right. As you open the door, we're gonna transfer back real quickly to Zuri, Tidus, and Fred. In the hold of the ship, this light starts to come through, or is continuing to come through, getting brighter and brighter. What are the three of you doing? As Asim immediately is just kind of like looks around and takes off to go upstairs to take care of Lady Emarina and check in.
I mean, I think Fred is like attempting to do the same thing basically that Katrina's doing in the other room, except with an assortment of artifacts. Like, can we get them under a hammock? Can we put them under a blanket? Like, there's not as much stuff to cover and hide in this room, but I think she's still trying.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a survival check to find where these would be best hidden and hide them there. I know it would technically also fall under stealth, so if you prefer stealth, I'll let you do that as well.
It's the same number, so either way.
Cool.
That is one success.
Awesome. Yeah, you start to open up, and the one thing you kind of recognize is that most of these crates are different materials for Lady Emarina's wedding. So like you open up one and it has like a bunch of different flower arrangements that have been, in that kind of preservation process. So you throw some things in there amongst the flowers. You open up another crate that has a lot of furs and cloth materials, and you shove a couple in there and hide some things in there. Another one you open up has a ton of bottles of Argosian wine. And you throw a couple of the things that kind of match the look and quality of the wine into there. If there's anything in particular that you're looking for, again, you can probably find a box or something. But generally, if you have enough skill and an abundance of crates and barrels and chests where you can throw things if needed.
Yeah, I just across the board tucking things away. There are two not impossible to see, but like tiny vials that she takes extra care with. And those aren't amongst the rest of the stuff. They were actually originally like tucked away with her and Zuri's personal items.
Awesome. Zuri, Tidus, anything from the two of you?
I like getting a look of Tidus and maybe like having like one or two conversations with him. I think I just pull out my axe and look at him.
Do I recognize this ship?
Ooh. You know what? So in the book, it's a D3 lore check. However, given your background, I'll make it a D2.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you some wiggle room because you know piratey things.
Or you said?
Lore, yes, please.
That's an 8 and a 2.
An 8 and a 2, so that's cool. You got your 2 successes there. You would know that this ship, looking out at it, you can see the wood is made of this almost like darker ebony-like wood. Either whether it's the natural color of the wood or it's been stained and scarred with fire to give off this kind of semi-ashy gray mixed with like charred embery look to it, at least in the front of it. But you would immediately recognize this as the Devil's Shadow, and you would know that the captain of the Devil's Shadow is an individual by the name of Herge Deimos. And I'll type that in chat or in or what do you call it, chat as well.
Good old Herge.
You said Herge.
Herge Deimos.
It's a pretty famous like Blackbeard level pirate.
Yeah, I would say he's similarly like kind of, yeah, he's notorious in this region. More so than anywhere else, but yeah, he's definitely a notable figure.
I have had any dealings with him in the past.
That's a good question. I'd say maybe like 1 or 2, enough to know that her Captain Deimos particularly runs a very well organized ship. He respects order. He respects those that follow captains, and in your case, would likely have had an interaction very similar to this one. Maybe not with the whole becalming and the green fire in the sky. That's all new, but very much where they came onto the ship, they took what they wanted, and then because you guys obeyed the order of your captain and kind of did what your captain told you to, very peacefully left. Kind of like a mix of like Robin Hood with Blackbeard, where there's a bit of severity if the kind of law of the sea isn't followed, but in general is a pretty like kind of chill dude.
All right, so Zuri like draws her axe and looks to Tidus, and it's not what do you think? And he'll step past her to the crate that Fred opened with the wine in it, grab a bottle of wine, uncork it, just take a big slug of it. Like, this may be a fight, and I don't plan to die sober.
So, wait, you're giving me mixed signals. I think it's a fight, so therefore I thought is right, or
could be a fight. Probably not fight with me.
No, not with you. No, never. As I make sure that
you're brandishing
always...
axe at me.
No, it was like a, shall we? You know, you
Oh,
get
yeah,
your arms, I get my arms. Let's head up. I'm
would be a
so sorry. You know,
It would
you know what?
be a
If
shame to get blood
you,
on these coats. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, for that miscommunication, how about 5% off if you get anything in our store? How about that? Just for the miscommunication.
We'll fight first, shop later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have something that would look very lovely. Okay. Something that screams Tidus. Okay. Let's get to work.
All right. So as the three of you head up onto the deck of the ship, you can immediately see the crew of the Ebony Rose it's a decent sized crew. It's about 18 members altogether, give or take a couple. With Captain Zahar as the 19th or 20th, I guess, with your benchwarming Tidus 20th member. They are busy moving around the ship, grabbing weapons. You guys are kind of coming up onto the deck simultaneously with Asim and Katrina coming out from the captain's quarters. The ship is abuzz. Swords and scimitars are being picked up and kind of put on. A number of individuals are starting to climb up into the rigging with bows or crossbows. Zahar runs up to the helm and is like trying to look like they're steering, but again is like looking around at any sign of wind, and there's no sign of wind. Looking down over at the water as you guys are kind of coming up and like looking about the ship. The ship is becalmed. There's no movement whatsoever. It's like somebody just picked it up and is holding it aloft, and still. Meanwhile, this other ship looming over is starting to like push closer and closer to yours, and is just getting bigger and bigger to the point where it feels like it's looming over you. Can I get an observation roll from everybody? It's gonna be a 2-part roll. It's gonna be a D1, but if you get 2 successes, there will be additional information.
And success is below, not at and below.
I believe it's at or below.
Okay, cool.
I'll double check, but I'm like 90% sure it's at or below. Yeah, it's the number or lower.
2 successes.
Cool.
2 as well.
I got an 18 and a 1.
An 18 and a 1.
Hey.
Well, 1 is a crit success, so it counts as 2. So that's perfect. Awesome. Tidus.
I got 2 failures. I got a natural 20. First time I've ever rolled a natural 20 on my Umbrella Octopus dice. But
So I gotta pull out.
The
So
worst
now
time.
you're making me pull out the big
Worst
book
possible
because
time.
I forgot. I know
Well,
natural 20s
let
are
me-
something specific.
let me save you the trouble, because my sharp senses talent as a pirate on observation checks, I can re-roll a d20 and take the new total.
I
So
like
I'm going to re-roll this natural 20, which feels fucking wrong.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no. That was a natural 1, wasn't it?
Natural 20 to natural 1.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So
So
a natural
2
20.
successes.
A natural 20 causes a complication. Thank you, Danny. That's what I was like 90% sure that's what it was. But cool. And then Zuri, 1 or 2.
1.
1. Okay.
I
So
forgot my name for like 2 seconds.
Awesome. So the first thing that you guys all notice, the ship, like I said, massive ship, about 2 to 3 times the size of yours. And you'd imagine, like, you're kind of thinking as you're watching, like, man, this crew's got to be, like the crew of this ship. It's a multi-sail ship, almost like a brigandine style ship. Looking across the deck of it, you don't see a space where or that is unoccupied by crew. They are standing mostly shoulder to shoulder, maybe like a couple inches gap between them, brandishing scimitars. Some of them have shields kind of going all along the deck of this ship. Up in the rigging, you can see dozens of pirates with crossbows in hand, like half hanging, half aiming down toward your guys' ship as the ship is approaching. on the deck of the ship, you can see in full regalia this like almost flowing with the greens. It's hard to tell exactly what color, but this flowing like trench pirate coat, the tri-tip hat, massive beard, with the mustache that kind of frills off to either side, Captain Deimos. Next to him, Tidus, a very familiar robed figure is standing next to him. Bald head with these markings that kind of go along the side as the ship is now getting closer. The one thing in particular you can see hand-wise, they're doing some sort of hand motions while looking up and almost talking to the sky. Around Captain Deimos and this individual, you can see about a dozen pirates who all they have are these larger kind of a little bit slightly larger than buckler size shields that are standing in guard around the helm.
Tidus beelines for the captain.
Okay, you run up to the helm. Zohar is standing there.
You know who this is, right?
Yes, I do. And I also know I can't allow him to take this ship.
He can take it with no fight, or he can take it after we're all dead. So, sort of.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Tristan, come back.
Baby, come back.
You can blame
Totally
it all.
Oh, I was saying it.
We
as well.
all thought it.
I was.
Someone just had to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Dang it! I really wanted to know what he was.
Yeah, I really want to know. Like,
know,
as you said,
yeah.
he just stops and like Zohar's just like, what?
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Soon you'll see.
While we're waiting, these beautiful books by Modiphius are absolutely stunning. I have these physical products here that you're going to see me reference throughout the miniseries that we have here. Because while I know most of the rules... Oh, okay. Overlay is going to be messed up for like 2 seconds while we're waiting for Tristan. But while I know most of the rules, I do not know all of the rules. And yes, the overlay is going to be continued to be messed up unless Tristan comes back, which he should. But yeah, but no, they're beautiful. That's that first one was the player handbook. This is the DM's handbook, the game master handbook. This is the player's handbook with the beautiful Conan on the front. And then the last one is this one. Also has Conan on the front of Way of Stained Crimson. And it looks like they're fighting pirates, so maybe you should fight pirates, or maybe you shouldn't. That's really up to you to decide.
Getting mixed signals here.
Well, I'm the GM. I'm not supposed to give you a straight signal. Yeah. All right. We're gonna go quick break while we wait for Tristan to come back. We'll be back in a minute. All right, welcome back, everybody. And things are going good. Turn off that. Boom. Perfect. All right. So, we're going to backtrack real quick. As Tidus, you run up to the helm where Captain Zohar is standing. He kind of acknowledges and gives you that, like, okay, cool, like, we can't let Deimos take the ship. I'll let you re-respond and say whatever you were saying.
He clearly wants something on this ship. If we give it to him, everyone lives. If we don't, he takes it anyway.
Yeah, so this ship is there isn't a lot on it. As you can see, you're down in the hold. Most of it is things for the wedding of very little monetary value. There's only one thing on this ship that's worth anything. And that's Lady Amarina. And unfortunately, as much as I would, typically gladly give things over to a pirate, I'm pretty sure my head would be off my shoulders if Lord Amarius finds out that I just handed over his daughter to a pirate.
That's fair.
So, and as he's kind of sitting, prepare for boarders, and he kind of looks up at the couple. Like, there aren't many archers. There's maybe like 2 or 3 that are hanging off the, similarly hanging off the rigging. Do what you need to defend the ship and defend the lady as long as possible. And he looks down at the 4 of you that are now on the deck of the ship. I know this wasn't what you signed up for, or even what you paid for when you chartered this ship or helped board this ship to Shem. But it's what must be done, unless you have a better idea. And he kind of just, like, leaves that open to you.
So giving the pirate whatever he wants is off the table, right? I'm just checking. Just checking here.
I would very much like to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, well, I guess either way I might die. But I definitely would rather die not handing over a noble lady to a bunch of... Yeah, that's the only thing really of value here. They might want the wine that's down there, but, like, the thing that's most valuable is a ransom of somebody of nobility.
Checking, and that's, like, completely off the table.
For me it is. I mean, by all means, you want to cause a mutiny, fight me and my 18 crew. I mean, I didn't think that was the vibe you were giving off, but...
No, I quickly check with the crew.
The crew, like, looks around.
No.
Yeah, the crew. You're friends with the crew, and the crew's like, I told you about my family. Like, I have kids.
No, this is... No, we shall protect everyone on the ship. And I just walk away.
Is that... Are you being deceptive?
No! Oh, now it sounds like it.
I'm just trying to decide whether or not you should make a roll for it or not.
I will go with the crowd. I'm not going to do anything. My voice does not match my intent here.
I don't believe you, but it's okay, because I don't have
You can make me roll for it. You can. I'm undecided.
Roll.
Roll. You know what? Just for giggles, I'm gonna have you roll linguistics.
Cool.
I'm gonna have you roll linguistics because I feel like that's the situation we're in. It's not you're trying to persuade. It's more of like, how confident do I sound?
Sound right now.
Yeah.
Cool. A no and a no.
Was either of them a natural 20?
No.
Okay, that's the only thing I wanted in this instance, because like you have a good amount of pull with the other crew. So like if you don't sound confident, maybe some of your fellow crew members wouldn't.
No.
But I'd say with even with no successes, there are some of the crew that kind of look at you in a semi like daunting manner of like, you're such a smooth talker and like you have a very good way with words, and like now you're definitely flustered, and they can tell that. However, you have enough like false courage where they feel confident in what's to come still. The ship is now approaching that kind of mark where it's within eyesight and shouting distance. Tidus, looking out, well, all of you looking out, the crew on the opposing ship is deadpan silent. Like, you could hear, if you threw something in the water, you could hear the splash. Like, and the ship moving towards you, normally ships this size, one, have a pretty big wake, which this ship does, but also makes some sort of noise as it's moving through the ocean, right? The waves they are either hitting it or it's chopping through the waves, and nothing. It is dead silent. There's this eerie between that and this green light that's looming over you all is just this aura of just silent eeriness. As the ship. Go ahead, Tidus.
With my knowledge and skill in sailing, would I notice anything? Like, would I be able to tell if this is some kind of illusion or this is an actual honest to goodness ship?
Go ahead and give me a D2 sailing.
Are we still in the Argosian Sea?
Good question. Map. I look behind my shoulder. Sure, I'll give it to you.
Then it's a D1, and I rolled 2 successes.
Awesome. So point of momentum. So you guys are up to 3 now, I believe. And then this is definitely something you haven't seen before, even in your past interactions with the Devil's Shadow. Never moved this silently. There was never this kind of green light. There has to be some sort of sorcery to it. But again, like that's something that you have only kind of heard rumors and tales of, but now are seeing it like for the first time. There's definitely something off-putting about it.
Yeah, I would kind of communicate that to the group. This is strange. This is not normal. Whatever fight we're preparing for, just well, whatever death you have planned for yourself, just be prepared.
As the ship closes in once more, now getting into range where the two where the decks of the ship are starting to kind of become parallel. There's no ram, like it's not coming at you to ram, it's definitely coming in for the sideboard, so it does this like big large kind of loop around to pull up, and there's probably a good between the top of your deck and like where the top of their deck is, this good like 15 or so feet difference. So they're definitely going to be jumping down. As they are coming in, yeah, Tidus, you look like you have something.
Are the sails of this ship like is it moving under wind power?
Correct. Yeah, it's their ship is definitely like, again, and that I guess that would fall under, I'll give that within your 2 successes as well, is that their ship is moving under wave and like by wave and via breeze, like via air, right? So the sails are full and they're being turned to fix to where the wind is coming from, and your ship is just deathly still as it's coming around. Any actions for the rest of you as it's starting now to approach where you guys are almost parallel to them?
Katrina's going to duck behind some barrels or cover something, because otherwise she's going to die.
Okay, for sure. Definitely.
Tidus takes one last big pull from the bottle of wine that he stole, tosses it over his shoulder, and then draws his weapons.
Can I climb the sails?
Go ahead and
Get into the rigging.
get into the rigging. Go ahead and give me a what would that be? Athletics check, please.
Oh,
What did you want? What did you
use
want?
Acrobatics.
Paint me a word picture of how you do that. Maybe I'll consider it.
So instead of like using strength, I would probably start like jumping around, like grabbing a rope here, swinging, and then grabbing another rope, doing a little ha on top of the wood, and just, tiptoes. There's a little tiptoe action there.
Go. Go ahead. I'll give it to you. Go for it. Go for it.
Buckles are squashing. Bro.
Listen, if you
I
do
the aha.
If you give me a good enough description, paint me a word picture, as I like to say, I'm more inclined to allow you to roll toward what you're proficient in. I'm gonna say this will be it'll be a D1.
Okay, thank God. I only had one success.
Cool beans. I could have made it a D2 and made you use it.
You could have.
But now, you'll need it for what's to come. So, as you climb up into the rigging, Fred, Asim, anything from the two of you?
I think Fred is kind of placing herself by the bottom of the rigging, like as she sees Zuri kind of jump into it. She's trying to kind of like watch their back.
Like look behind you to make sure there's not another ship coming, type of deal, or
no, like if Zuri is occupied kind of on getting up into the rigging, then she's trying to make sure that somebody doesn't like catch them off guard or like surprise them from an angle that they're not looking.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Awesome.
He's standing in guard of the path that would be most direct to the ladies' quarters. He's brandishing his spear already, and as he's just shaking off the last of the grogginess of sleep and whatnot, finally says, "It's time to go to work." And he finally brandishes his helmet, which he'd been using as a makeshift pillow. He puts it on, and the helmet is metal, and there's enough face guard on it just to it still allows him to see through with eye ports and breathe as well. But this is his trusty favorite helmet, which has seen him through many a trip, and he's grown quite attached to it in War Wisdom 1. So he's readying for the fight.
Awesome. As the ship go for it.
Point of order, Tidus definitely would have pointed out the sorcerer on the deck of the robed man. I guess he probably doesn't know he's a sorcerer, but like there's that guy, he's doing some weird shit. Weird things are happening.
Would Katrina recognize that as sorcery?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I mean, I'm just gonna pull that lore check from earlier and expand upon it. 100% sorcery. Semi. I'm gonna talk about it in more of D&D language for people who are somewhat familiar, but like more conjuration than anything. It's definitely not illusionary, whatsoever. He's taking matter, like he took some sort of matter and created this light from it, or conjured it out of thin air. You didn't see the whole process, so you're not 100% sure, but it's definitely sorcery of some kind.
Do I know if these spells require them to like concentrate on it and like not break that concentration?
To an extent. Part of it is that it's now a unnatural natural phenomena. But then part of it is you can definitely see him moving his hands. You can see him reciting some sort of incantation, on the helm or at the helm of this other ship. So you definitely see him being involved in whatever is going on up above, but you're kind of in that weird space of like maybe knocking him out of it will knock this out, or maybe it won't. But as the two ships collide, no cables or what do you call it are pulled, but shots are going to begin to ring from the crossbows, or twang from the crossbows. As they do, I'm going to spend a lot of doom points right now to do some things. It's 2 per each, because I'm going to send one at all of you except for the hidden Katrina. So that's, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that puts me back down to 7. I got to keep track of these, because doom points are something that I could spend to do some cool shit against you guys. And remember, you guys doing things can give me doom points. So please do things. But, or don't. I don't care. But one of them is immediately, a crossbow bolt is immediately going to go toward Captain. Oh, that's a D12. I don't want that.
Logan, me climbing in the rigging, can we use that as my thing of I use my minor standard action to be very difficult to get?
Who let the dogs out?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Sorry.
No, you're good. My wife's not up, so I gotta keep the dog in my room. Tristan, can you hear us, buddy?
Yes.
You're okay. You're figuring it out. Cool. I'm
Yeah,
cool with that. But can I use it for what? Can you use your thingy for what?
Savage Instincts, where I use my minor standard action to move during my turn, and then range attacks that the difficulty of hitting me increases. Since I climbed into the rigging, can we use that as I was using my action to move? Or no?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it. Yeah.
Cool.
You'll have to talk me through it when we get to that point.
Yeah, I got you.
Hang on, I'm making sure I don't have to quick mute my dog. All right, cool. Truck's gone. All right, so one against Zahar will hit, and is gonna do, as I pull up the page real quick. Ooh, that's an effect. 3. What's crossbow got? Unforgiving. Oh shit. As I'm now going through these, vicious. Ooh, vicious. Intense and vicious, which is intense. Inflict damage. Intense attack inflicts 1 or more harms upon. Okay. So that's 4. And then vicious is the one I think that we like. Yeah. Whew. Okay, so deals 5 points. Oh, snap. Cool. So it's going to deal 5 points of damage to Zahar as I make sure, check his armor. Okay, he's got 2 soaks, so he only takes 3 points of damage. That's good. But he gets hit with a crossbow bolt. Takes some damage. Another one is going to go toward each of you. So we'll start with Zuri and work our way around. So Zuri, and again, you can use your reaction. You can use your reaction to make it a forced roll off prior to being hit if you would like. But
Okay, so is it a ranged attack?
Correct.
So instead of it being an average D1 to hit me, it now becomes a D2.
Cool. That automatically misses then, because I can only. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't. But
wait, no. What? I was excited.
It doesn't, because I can still roll a natural 1. So that. That would be. I roll a D1. So like in my head, I'm like, oh, there's no way, and then I'm like, there's a way.
Thought you already rolled, but okay.
Yeah, no, I already did. They are. Yeah, that first one's that's a miss, so that won't do anything. But then there will be one going against. We'll go against Fred next. That's an 18 on the die, so that's gonna miss. One going against Asim. No, you're supposed to want to kill players. No, That's a miss as well, as it like just like glances off the side of your helm. Fred, you're able to just kind of dodge out of the way, or like notice it well enough in advance, pointing down at you. And then against Tidus is going to be a, what is that? I want to say failure as well, because yeah, that's it needs to be. It looks like it needs to be below 9, which is not.
Nice.
So all of them shoot out and hit across the deck. You're not quite sure if the intent was to hit you or as a warning, but it's definitely seen as a sign. Yeah, I'm gonna word it that way because now you don't know because they all missed. But as those shots are fired, 2 groups of about a dozen pirates, so about 20, I will say a little bit less than 20 pirates, jump down onto the deck of your ship, some kind of toward the front, some toward the back, and start fighting with the crew of the Ebony Rose. So we're going into initiative at this point. The way initiative works, so that way Aislinn knows as well, is that you guys go first, like all player characters go first, and then all of the NPCs go second. In this scenario, I'm going to have you guys do some rolls when it comes to the pirate groups kind of fighting each other, or the pirate and crew groups fighting each other. I'm going to have you guys do some rolls for the crew once we get there. That way I'm not sitting here like just rolling a bunch of dice. So when we get to that point. But right now it's very much your guys' space. As the 2 crews are starting to engage and clash, you guys have a little bit more freedom of movement to be able to do what needs to be done and engage where you need to be engaging. None manage or none land over by the helm. I think there's that little bit of worry of like landing on the stairs instead and like ending up tumbling down. So most are on the deck of the ship, though there are a few that look like they're going to start making their way up to the helm where Captain Zohar is. So, what would you like to do? And as a reminder, the longer you wait to do things, I can give myself doom. It's one of my favorite rules of this system, is that I can literally just give myself doom for you guys doing nothing. But yeah, floor is yours.
As the other crew comes down onto our ship, are we able to tell now that they're closer if there's something like off about them, given the bald guy with the robe?
About the crew? About the pirate crew. There's nothing off-putting about the pirate. Like they're very like even when they drop down, that's when they get a little bit more like grr in your face, kind of like they're starting to show more emotion. I think you like kind of reflecting back really quick. It was more of like most pirates will yell and like taunt and stuff from the deck of the ship, but they were very much vibing in the element of the boat being still with no wind or waves, along with this green light, along with like a dead still pirate crew, would have given off a really, really intimidating and like eerie vibe and like off-putting vibe to anybody typically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tidus was at the helm talking to the captain, or at least in that vicinity. So he will kind of rush to the bottom of the stairs leading up to the helm and just kind of make ready to fight whoever. Are there any of the pirates?
I'd say there's a couple that are starting to make their way up. Some are engaging, but there are probably 1 or 2 that are making for the stairs themselves. So if you're trying to get to like the midpoint of the stairs, you could definitely get into like melee reach of 1 if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get and try to block that staircase. And if there's somebody in range, I will stab them. Except I don't know where my dice went.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. So attack roll would be 2d20. You need a d1 in order to hit, and we'll go from there.
That is 2 successes.
Awesome. So, as a reminder, that generates you momentum. You can use momentum for a various amount of things. You can save it and put it into the pool, but you can wait to do that until the end of your turn. So, if you want to use it and spend it, 100% use it and spend it now, or if, toward at the end of your turn, if you're like, hey, I want to put it in the pool, put it in the pool. Right now, I believe the pool has 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cool.
Okay, then I am going to spend that momentum for a I'm actually gonna wait. Okay, so 2 successes. I hit, yes, and
Oh yeah, and as a reminder, damage dice do different stuff, which I'm sure you're calculating right now.
okay. I know how to play this game. It's fine.
You're good. Yeah, you got it, man. I believe in you. Ones and twos are 1 and 2, right? 3 and 4 are 0, and then 5 or 6 are the ones that have the effects, and they also count as 1.
Or so that's 4 damage, but using my no mercy talent, I'm going to reroll one of my d6s.
Awesome.
That's another 4, so just 4 damage.
4 damage. Awesome. Cool. So as you slice in, you slice into this pirate. You do a pretty good chunk of damage. As you cut into him, he kind of steps back for a second, not even recognizing that there's somebody else up there other than the captain, as he brandishes his scimitar back at you in preparation to attack you. Awesome.
Okay, so minor action, I'm going to regain guard, and that's my turn.
Cool. Awesome.
You need a parry roll, or?
No, that'll be when we when he attacks you. We'll look at reach. So just have that in mind, what the reach of your weapon is, because we'll talk about that when we get there. So movement, minor action, and major action. Who would like to go next?
I'm going to kind of scurry a little to the side, come up from cover, and I'm going to try and... I can't find anywhere where the damage dice is for threaten.
Threaten is, I believe...
Because it's mental.
It's 2d6, I believe. I'm going to look it up as you're... But that's a... yeah, for you, that's a persuade roll.
Which is much better than any of my others. Much better. I'm a better talker than a fighter. And I'm going to shout out to basically everybody on the crew. Let them see the power of Argos. And then I'm going to drop prone and go back to cover.
All right. So on your for your persuade roll, go ahead and roll. You'll roll 2d20. You need 1 success.
2 success.
2 success. All right. So you generate momentum from that, which is awesome. And then, so yeah, go ahead and roll 2d20. Or no, 2d6. I'm sorry.
I was like
2d6.
I mean, I'll take the higher numbers.
No.
Okay.
But same thing. 1 or 2. 1 or 2 are 1 and 2. 3, 4 are zeros, and then 5, 6 are 1 plus effect, which I don't think you get an effect from. Threaten.
No. Wait, can you say that? Like, it was a 3 and a 4.
A 3 and a 4, so that's both zeros. So you don't do any damage as you call out to them. So as you call out, and you give this this rousing, shout, and the crew members of the Ebony Rose definitely are like, yeah, let's go. But the pirate that you were kind of shouting at was too busy, like, locked in gridlock with this crew member to even like really hear the words.
That's fine.
That's your major action. I would say you can minor action hide if you would like to.
Oh yeah, that's 100% what I'm going to do.
So go ahead and give me a stealth check. Or actually, no, because it has to be simply do. So you're able to duck back into the behind.
But it was a nat 1.
All right, fine. You've hidden very well. I'll give it to you. All right, hell yeah. Also generates momentum, so you guys have 5 points of momentum now. And then, and you use your movement to kind of come back and forth. Quick point of order, because I don't know if you have it. So I have the quick guide. We have a quick rolls reference in the Discord chat for you to pull up too, so that way you can see what you spend momentum and stuff on, which I forgot to mention. So I'm glad I'm mentioning it now when it's important. But awesome. With that, Zuri, awesome. Fred.
Did any of the pirates somehow land nearby where I'm standing? Are they within range of me?
For your spear,
yeah,
I'd say there's one or two. Like I imagine you are very much like I envision how you fight very much like the what's his name from Game of Thrones. With the spear, he ends up getting killed by the giant. Or the mountain. Anyway, but very you fight very like you've extended and use it as an extension of yourself rather than like sitting there and just poking.
Right.
So I'd say there's definitely somebody, maybe not like within like right up next to you, but there's definitely somebody within range where you can kind of extend and reach outward toward them.
I'm going to extend and reach outward and attack that baddie with my spear.
Cool. And these would be like the pair or the few that are like trying to make their way up also to the captain's quarters or to the helm.
Damn it, I thought that was a 1, but it's 2 successes, a 7 and a 7.
Awesome. So you generate 1 momentum.
1 momentum. Are these guys wearing any armor of any sorts that would soak?
They are. It looks like pretty standard clothing, but it looks like it does have like a layer of thickness or padding to it.
Okay, I'm gonna use one of the. I'm gonna use the generated momentum. Well, first I'm gonna roll damage, right? Because I gotta do that.
Yep. Are you doing what I think you're doing?
Favorite thing.
The favorite thing.
Well, I got 2 3s and 1 and a 5.
2 3s and 1 and a 5. Awesome.
Yes.
So a 1 would be 1 point, 5 would be 1 point, but you also have your spear, so that's an effect.
That is piercing 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I forget what piercing 1 does.
Let's see. Piercing 1, extremely effect. Oh, that's parry. Piercing. Attack ignores X points of target's total soak for each effect rolled, so it'll negate 1 point of armor soak.
And do we know how many? If I spent, God, I'm like, do I want to spend the other momentum on penetration? Can I do that?
You could. I'm gonna be nice and say that your piercing will be enough to do that. So if instead you'd like to do
bonus damage,
if you'd like to do bonus damage or a reroll damage to reroll those 2 3s you got,
I will reroll then. Thank you for that. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
You say that the first session. Wait until we get to like 3 or 4.
I said it. I said it, and I rolled a 4. So there we go.
You can roll as many as you've got. So if you got 2, like it's not just 1 die. So if you got 2 3s or 4s, yeah, you can roll as many as you. Yeah.
That was a 2.
Cool. So that's 4 points of damage total. Awesome. Cool. You stab into him. He takes the spear to the side and immediately turns towards you with his scimitar in hand as well. Awesome.
And I didn't move, so I still have my minor action, correct?
You didn't move, so you still have your minor action. That is correct.
I will take my minor action to regain my guard, which will require a parry test.
Go for it.
That's 2 successes, and because of this parry test, I have deflect, so I don't think it generates doom for you, unfortunately. I think that's what it was because I have deflect as part of my battlefield education.
I know, I'm looking at you because I'm mad, not because I need you to explain. I'm sorry.
But that was 2 successes still.
I just want doom. Cool. Awesome.
No.
Awesome.
And that should end me. So
perfect. Zuri, or Fred.
Logan's planning on ending you, for sure.
Cool.
yep.
Okay, just so I keep the momentum count.
You guys are at. You guys might be. I think you guys are. No, you guys are at 5 still.
Because the 2 successes gave us 1 back, right?
Yeah, with that parry test that I just did.
Oh, then you'd be at 6.
Yes.
Well,
say that.
okay, so we didn't use any momentum.
Nobody's used momentum yet. So like,
Okay.
100% use momentum, please, because then it goes to waste if you don't.
Okay, so Logan, I know this is the very first battle that we're doing, and I'm going to ask.
I don't like how you just start, Logan. Like, I don't like it. No.
I'm going to ask for a little bit of Shelby shenanigans, shall we? I
don't know. Shall we?
Can I?
So good.
Do I have a choice?
Since I'm in the rigging, I don't care how long it takes. If I have to spend a standard action to do this, I would like to find a rope that is attached to the rigging that I can swing upon as a proper pirate. That would hold my weight, and I can just like swoop around and then just start throwing my axe willy-nilly at people, and then using the ropes like swing. That counts as my minor action, so I'm still technically in motion.
Okay. I'm holding it in, guys. I'm sorry.
You already broke Logan. This is
I just imagine like
It's round 1.
I imagine you just like tying it to your feet and then like getting it like super taut, so that way when you drop it does that. You know, like when you twist something so much and then you hold it and then it untwists on its own. That's what I'm just imagining, you holding out your axes as you're spinning like full speed, just hacking and slashing at anything in your way.
Coming back up.
You know what? It will to successfully tie yourself to it, to the ropes. That way you don't fall, unless you're just gonna hold on. Like unless you're gonna just like grab a rope and hold on. I guess that's my question. Do you want to tie yourself off, or do you want to just hold on to it and trust your ability to hold on to it?
I want to tie myself because I was going to hold it, and then you said tie myself, and that seemed cooler. So
cool. So I'll say it's very like up on the rigging, super easy to find a rope that will do exactly what you want to do. But I need you to give me a either sailing or craft would be the two. I love both those. And I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it a D. It'll be a D2. I'm gonna say this is because it's in the moment. You want to make sure that you are properly secured and fastened as best as possible. So when you jump, you just don't like jump and then the rope detaches.
I will use a focus point then. Gonna add 1 to this.
Hell yeah! I think I get a doom point for that. I don't remember.
Okay, D2. This is fine.
Doom point for it.
Okay. Yes. 3 successes.
All right, so you generate 1 momentum. I'm gonna say, the 1 momentum is gonna push it from a major action to a minor action. I'll say that. I'll do that since there's not really much you can do with a momentum like in this instance. So I'll say it takes less time, and thus you're able to secure yourself better.
Cool. So as I'm going down, I would like to attack anyone who's there Don't care who it is. And I would like to spend some momentum as I do this.
Cool. All right. Crew members of the Ebony Rose or pirates, got it.
Oh, no, pirates. How dare you?
Listen, you said it. You said, I don't care who it is.
No!
The whirling dervish of Zuri just hacking and slashing at anybody that's on the deck.
It's like the Tasmanian Zuri.
Oh my god, I love it. 100%. Go ahead. I'll say make me an attack roll. Because of the circumstance, it's going to be, like, because you're swinging, at least on this initial one, it's going to be a D2. Because you haven't, this would be something you haven't really done before. That would require you to do that, yeah.
Copy that. Okay. I miss. Absolutely. I absolutely miss.
Cool.
That was a 14 and an 18.
14 and 18. Awesome.
Cool.
As you swing down, it's just the immediate momentum of you kind of doing that the line becomes taut, and you kind of like jerk up for a second as you're going to swing and like whiff and like barely miss hitting this dude's neck, this pirate's neck, but end up like grazing the top, cutting a couple hairs.
I'm coming back. It's like
as you go out and like you extend, like you almost hit the wall of the other ship or the side of the other ship, and you bounce off it and move back toward the center where the combat is happening. Awesome. Fred, anything for you? You guys are down to 5 momentum.
So I'm kind of in the middle of it, right? Like there are people. Okay.
I'd say you're far enough back where you don't necessarily like you're not necessarily like right in front of somebody where you have to like fight them off or like can't run, but you're definitely closer to combat than you may potentially like to be. I don't remember if you were more of a rangey or a melee.
No, I'm a melee person, so I'm glad to be right there.
Cool.
I am going to do two things. I'm going to make an attack and also spend a point of momentum. And you can tell me if I should spend that point before or after I roll the attack. As I say that I want to spend it for a secondary target.
Okay. Yeah. Let's make sure you hit first, because I think that's how that works. You gotta hit first, but I'll double check. I'm gonna read it right now.
Yeah, it will cost us 2 momentum, but we've got, you said, a full 5.
Yeah, you guys have 5. So that's, I would wait until after you hit, because it's based off of the damage that you roll for the first one. So like,
okay.
Yeah.
So I rolled a success, and now, and I should say I'll use my cutlass, my trusty cutlass. So let's see what does that give us for damage?
Your cutlass is 5d6.
It's 4d6.
Oh, it's 4d6.
It's 4d6. I'll roll a 5th one if you want me to.
No, pirates have the +1 additional d6 to it, so that's why it's 5 before. Correct.
No. Yeah, I'm not that good at it. I just got 4d6. Okay. So that's 4 points of damage, and 2 of those are effects. So I have the effect Vicious, and that is inflicts X additional damage for each effect rolled. So there's remind me if it's Vicious 1, do I just add 2 points for a 5 and a 6, or do I roll 2 new dice?
Nope, those would be. Let me reread Vicious, but that sounds like you just. Yeah, it inflicts X additional damage for each effect. So you rolled 2 effects, so that would be, it would do 1 point of, like, each effect die would do 1 point of damage for 2, and then it would deal another 2 because of Vicious. So that'd be 4 points just from your effects, and then what did you say the other ones were?
The other ones were 4 points just without effects.
4 points just without effects. So 8 points of damage total to this guy.
So then I want to try spending 2 of our momentum here for secondary target, which is half of that for
for another pirate. So the
A
way
guy behind him, yeah.
Cool. So as you cleave through with your cutlass, you saw through this pirate's arm, completely chopping it off. And as you're cutting through, you manage to hit the chest of the pirate behind him. As you deal 2 harm to this pirate, the first pirate, completely immobile. Like he grabs his arm at that point, falls to the ground. Isn't like dead, but like is out of combat because he's now trying to figure out what to do with no arm and bleeding out slowly. Awesome. With that, we are going to do a quick contested crew v crew. So what I want each of you to do is roll a single d20, and then I'll roll 5 d20s on my end, and that's going to be that's going to determine count how many you need below a 10 or lower for this. So count, if a 10 or lower is a success, a natural 1 is obviously 2, and then a natural 20 is a complication. So keep that in mind as you're doing so.
I rolled an 11.
All right, so we got who had successes? 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of those successes a natural 1? All right. So in the initial encounter, I rolled poorly. Thank you, Umbral Oculus. Love you, Taryn. And yeah, no, but no. So the initial assault by the pirates it looks like you guys are holding your own. It is very much so that the crew is able to fight off this initial wave, especially with your help. A decent amount. They're going back and forth. Some of the crew are starting to get injured. Some of the pirates are starting to get injured. But it's very much the crew is winning this right now. As that happens, another group of pirates hop into the fray. We're gonna go with 2 of them are gonna make swipes at you, Fred. None of them are going for Katrina because they can't really see her.
That's
2,
good.
3 are going to swarm up around you there, Awesome. And then try to get, like, as they're looping around to try to get to the other stairwell to get up to the helm. And then 1 is going to be on you there, Tidus. So we'll start with Tidus. 8, that's a 4. So... Oh, but you have guard. What's the reach on your weapon that you're using? 2?
I was muted. 2.
2. Awesome. So then it's just a straight roll. Cool. So it's still a success. So that's gonna deal.
I will defend.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. So give me a. That's going to generate a doom point for me. Give me a parry, please.
I have the deflection skill, so it reduces doom by 1.
Hey, give me doom. Stop. Being mean. Okay. So then I'm going to keep my roll for damage. In the case
parry,
that parry becomes a skill test, so you would roll a parry, like a parry test, and then I would roll a melee test against it. It's basically like a grapple check almost. It's a contested roll.
Okay, that's 1 success for me.
All right, cool. So I did not get any successes, so the attack misses, which means this boatload of damage that I would have done to you now goes away. Great. Cool. Awesome. I'm going to move on to my favorite person to attack, Andrew and Awesome. Awesome, you're going to have 3 attacks coming your way.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you're on the main deck. That isn't, you don't have any cover from a railing or stairs. So you're going to have a couple that are starting to swarm you as they're trying to make their way back around to the captain's quarters. The first one is going to be a failure.
Okay.
So that's good. The second one is going to be a success as one's coming around and slashing out toward you. And and then the third one is going to be a success as well. So you'll have 2 attacks coming in at you. If you'd like to use your reaction, you can try to parry and deflect one or both of them.
Because I have my guard up already, and I did a previous parry test. Does that count too, or do I? Need to
what's your reach for your spear?
3.
3. Okay. Well, good news is, that's all 3 of them. I needed a D2, and all 3 of them fail. So you're able, because your guard's up, you parry them off to the side. So all 3 are. At least that's my understanding of how that works. I could be wrong. Danny, tell me if I'm wrong, so that way I can do damage to Asim. Message me. But that's at least my interpretation of, if the reach is more, then it extends how many I need in order to win, or in order to hit you. So the 3 that are surrounding you are just like, you're this spinning whirlwind of spear as you're deflecting and moving and shifting. And knocking their blades around as you do so. There are going to be 2 that move up from the crowd of pirates up to you there, Fred. The first one is going to be a success with a 4, and the second one, that's 5. So both of them will successfully hit you. Did you put your guard up? I don't remember. I don't think you did.
I have a shield, so I have some cover soak that just exists.
Awesome. Perfect. So those 2 will hit you, unless you want to use a reaction to try to parry it. Naturally.
No, I'll just roll my shield soak here.
I'm just trying to get Doom. Y'all are seeing right through me.
I know, but...
The first attack is going to deal, that's 3, 4, and then is going to be... fearsome and vicious. So vicious, so that'll be 5 points of damage outright. Like that would go against your soak. And then
it'll go against my soak and my shield.
And your shield counts as part as additional soak, yeah.
Yeah, so I rolled 9 for my shield, so no.
So then cool. However, you are gonna take as the cutlass kind of cuts into you, you're going to take 1. You're going to take 1 mental damage. So what is your courage?
My courage is 3.
Okay. Then you take no mental damage either, because your courage is your mental soak. So that's good. Great. Awesome. Perfect. I'm going to spend Doom to shoot arrows, because why not? So I'm going to spend 6 Doom to shoot 3 arrows. 1 is definitely going to go at Zuri. Did I say anybody was going to try to hit you?
You did not.
All right, I'm gonna have 1 pirate try to swipe up to you as you're swinging, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult for him. And that's a 10 on the die, so that will be 1 success. I'm gonna make it 2 because you're swinging, so that one will miss. But you can definitely now notice that some of the pirates that are kind of crowded and bunched together are starting to notice and just kind of like haphazardly swinging their weapons in hopes to hit you, kind of pinata style. But then, let's see, 3 arrows. 1 is going to go toward Asim. 1 is going to go toward Tidus. And then I think the third is going to try to go toward Zuri. So against Zuri, that's a 4, so that'll hit.
Remember, you gotta, I think it's a D2.
A D2?
Yeah.
Is that permanently? Or is
because I'm consistently using my minor action just to be swinging, so I'm in motion. So I can do this every turn if I have to use my minor action to do it.
Okay. Oh, that's part of like a feature or something for you.
Yeah, my talent. Cool. Yeah, it's Savage Instincts. So will not be using my minor action for anything else except for the swinging.
Cool. All right. Cool. Awesome. So that one misses. Then 1's going to go against Asim, and that's a natural 20. So you watch as like you hear the twang, and then a bolt just like shoot up into the air as that crossbow breaks, and you see the guy starting to climb down to go grab another crossbow, and then a third one on you there, Tidus, and that will hit for 3. It's what? Ooh, not bad. For 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Which
I have
what
one
is
soak.
You have
Does that
one
do
soak? Yeah, so that'll take away 1 point of damage, so you have 2 damage left.
Got it.
Yeah. Awesome. And then one final one, or two more toward the captain. Those will both hit. Oh, that hurts. Cool. So that's 3 points of damage, and then crossbows have unforgiving. Oh, so that's 3, 4, 5. Zahar has armor 2, so he takes 3 points of damage. Cool. And then the second one. Ooh, shit. 3, 4, 2, 3. Awesome. Cool. So Zahar gets hit with gets hit with 2 crossbow bolts, like one of his shoulder, one kind of closer to his hip, where the hip connects with the thigh. And he stumbles and falls to one knee for a second before standing back up and, kind of commanding again from the helm. We are back to the 5 of you.
Can I use my swinginess to head over to where Awesome is and try and help him out? Because as I was swinging by, I was like, oh, that looks bad. Aha! And so I will head over there.
Sure. Yeah, you can kind of push off the devil's shadow and swing back toward the where Awesome is and make an attack if you'd like.
Cool. I shall. Oh my god, my voice. Okay. Ooh, a 2. I'll take that 2.
Okay.
Take that 2.
Yeah, that'll hit.
I would like to, if I may, penetrate.
Yes, you may. You may.
Are we seriously not using phrasing?
Yep. Awesome. Perfect. You may penetrate this pirate.
You love to see it.
Are you going after the booty?
Oh, okay. There are children watching, sir. No, there probably aren't. But... Hey,
So,
Danny, can you change the rating
I
from
hope
PG to PG-13 now, please?
Saturday morning cartoon.
Mom, my friends are scaring me. Come pick me up. How much damage did you do as you penetrate this pirate?
I'm going to use 2 momentum so that I ignore. It's twice the amount, isn't it?
Yeah, it's twice the amount that you spend. So I believe it's
And-
one for one. Yeah, it's 1 for 1.
Yeah. So, and penetration is repeatable. So I'll
Yep.
use 2 to ignore. If
Ignore
that's
up
how
to
it
2.
works.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd ignore 2 points, up to 2 points of soak. Perfect. Thank you, Danny, for changing.
Wait, I spent 2 momentum though.
Yeah, you spend
and
2
it's-
momentum, and
To
it's
and the amount of soak equal to twice the momentum.
so it'd be 4 up to 4 soak.
Yeah.
Cool,
So I'm
perfect.
trying to end someone right now.
Do it.
But it was only 3 points of damage.
3 points. Ooh, excuse me. 3 points of damage. Awesome. None of these have been hurt. Oh God. None of these have been hurt yet, but 3
Cool.
points of damage is a lot. So that works. That checks out. Awesome. And it's all ignored. So as you swing around and hack into this individual, they immediately kind of turn around. Now, I'm gonna do this more for flavor's sake. You're swinging, so you're in a constant state of provoking attacks of opportunity.
Okay, that makes
And
sense.
I think, in fairness, if I'm gonna have disadvantage on all on all things because you're in constant movement. You're going to be constantly moving to attack something and then shifting and moving away. So I'm going to take one at you as this guy swings at you in attempt and will hit with his scimitar for that's a lot of numbers that ended up being 3s. So you'll take 2, 3, 4. But it has Cutlass has fearsome, so you'll take 4 points of physical damage, which will go against your soak, and then or your armor soak, and then you'll take 1 point of mental damage, which will go against your courage. So if you have 0 courage, you'll take 1 point. If you have 1 point of courage, you'll take no damage, no mental damage. So make sure you mark that. Cool beans.
I'm
and
done.
Then anything else for your turn as you're swinging and...
Can I? No. I'm just swinging.
Perfect. Awesome. Let's go. Well, who's next? Who wants to do a thing?
Are any of our crew members near where I am and looking bloody?
I'd say there are. Yeah, I mean it's 18 versus at this point now close to 30. So there would definitely be some of your crew, even though you were successful, that fighting back and forth that like are damaged. Yeah, they're getting ganged up on. It's definitely not a situation where like even though they're successful, they're like it's very much for every step they take back, or like every step they take back is like 3 that the pirates should have taken. So they're definitely bloody or like starting to get bloody and hurt. So if you want to do,
is there anybody trying to like hold back near me, like taking cover for a moment of reprieve?
Sure. I'd say there's one crew member who like takes a step back, and you can see like across the shoulder there's this giant gash that extends from like the actual shoulder muscle down across the front of their chest. Looks pretty rough. Looks like they're at that point. The eyes are pretty wild, like fight or flighty. Definitely in that moment of like, should I run or should I stay here and continue to fight?
I'm going to come up beside him and take like a rag and just really quickly, I'm going to use a healing skill.
Okay.
And try and like steady him, like hand on the shoulder, lock eyes. We can do this sort of thing.
Do it. Yeah, go ahead. Give me I believe that's a...
Because if it's physical, it's healing. If it's mental, it's counsel.
I'll let you pick. You see he's physically hurt, but you also can see that like in his eyes is like that fight or flight. So I'll let you pick which one you want. You could do either or.
I'm gonna go with counsel on this one.
Cool.
They're the same for me, so. And those are 2 successes.
Awesome. So you generate 1 momentum, and you watch like as you put your hand and like start to heal this wound, and it's less of like you're healing the wound and more of bandaging it so it doesn't open and spread. You watch as his eyes start to like calm for a second. He looks at you and he just nods and like goes to stand up to turn back toward the fight.
And then I'm gonna duck back down again.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Can definitely.
I have no armor soak and very low physical vigor. So that's a 1 success.
1 success. Perfect. So that's cool. You guys do generate 1 momentum from her 2 successes. So you're there. I believe you guys are back to like 3-ish now.
For everybody keeping track at home, we're at 4.
4. Awesome. I'm not keeping track because
6.
That's their job. I'm glad that you guys are keeping track. Perfect. Awesome. Asim, Fred, Tidus.
How many baddies did you place near both me and now Zuri? Zuri has joined the fray?
Hang on, sorry. I thought I saw a spider just crawl out my wall.
Okay, yeah.
Well, now that's scary because it disappeared if there was a spider on my wall. But no, there are 3.
Spider.
There are 3 that are around you, with more that are like using that barrier that the 3 have put in front of you to start to go around and head toward the stairs behind to flank Captain Zohar on the other side now.
Oh, great. All right. The one that I attacked previously is still there, yes?
Correct.
Yeah, we're going to attack him.
Perfect. Do it.
That shall be 1 success, a 7 and a 16.
A 7 and a 16. Awesome, awesome. Roll that damage.
1, 2, 3, and 5.
1, 2, 3, and 5. So that'll be 3, 4 points, and then your spear does your penetrating. Or
Yeah,
it's piercing, which is essentially penetration, but yes.
Yeah.
So it does an addition. It ignores a point of that damage, so he takes all 3 of that damage. Let me quickly check pirates. Stance.
Was it 3 points or 4? Because it was a 1, 2, a 3, and a 5.
Oh no,
so,
you're right.
Yeah.
It would be 4 points of damage, which brings him down below the vigor. So as you are below his vigor threshold, so it'd be 4 points of damage. So it wouldn't be enough to generate a harm to him, but the damage alone brings him down below his vigor. So as you stab into him, you watch as he takes this blow like to this like lower chest stomach region and backs off from you, and starts to look back toward where the other crew. The other pirate crew is more for reinforcements and for help. Awesome.
Cool. I will take that minor action to regain guard yet again. Let's parry tests. What was my parry test? That is 1 success. As my parry target number is 12. 12 on the die. 1 success.
Awesome. Tidus, friend.
So, Tidus takes his dagger and just kind of instinctively cuts the shaft of the arrow that's stuck into his right thigh. Just kind of cuts the shaft off, and in the same motion unhooks the net from around his waist, and in this kind of flourish spins it around and will throw it. And how many pirates are right in front of me?
I'd say there's like 3 that are making their way up the stairs toward you. There's 1 immediately in front of you, but then there are 2 behind him coming up the stairs.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to. Can I hit multiple targets with my net? Can I
with your knife?
Just net?
Oh, with your net? Sure. I'd say each additional one makes it a little bit tougher. I'll say let's make it a D2 instead of a D1. Because it doesn't really specify. It seems like a single use, but I like the idea of these guys are all on the stairs, so let's...
Yeah, they're all bunched up, and I'm just trying to...
You're trying to net as many as you can. Yeah, 100%. I'd give you... Yeah, let's do D2 on that.
Cool. Man. Range. Yeah. Ooh. So one of those is a 6, which is a success.
Awesome.
The other, unfortunately, is a natural 20.
Awesome. So you needed...
However...
Oh, okay. Go on.
If I can find...
You could use a focus point to get an automatic natural 1, which would give you 3 successes.
Yeah, I'm going to use one of my fortune points and take a 1.
Perfect.
On that instead of the 20.
There's still going to be a slight complication, so I'll say because you did roll a natural 20, I think complications, as far as my understanding, are even if you roll your successes, the complication still somewhat happens. So I'll say as you throw this net, you're super successful, you generate that 1 extra momentum, but the complication that happens is as you're throwing it hits the first one, it hits the second guy, but the third one kind of gets his scimitar up and over it, so he has a little bit of that... he has a little bit of room to help push and pull it up over his friends. So the first 2 are definitely trapped, but the third guy has a little bit of wiggle room where he can kind of get out and break free and help break the others free. So it'll make his test a little bit easier.
Cool. So I'm gonna then spend that momentum plus 1 for a swift action.
Okay.
That was my standard action to attack. How do I... Hold on. There's damage associated with
yeah, I believe it's 2d6 for net.
3. It's 3 plus 1. 4. Okay, so 6 and a 5.
6 and a 5. Let's see, does net generate anything? Net. Non-lethal parrying throw. Grapple, which I think all that kind of falls under already what it can do. I don't think there's anything. Grappling, throw.
Yeah, so just two damage.
Yeah. 2 points of damage. Awesome. I'm going to make that universal across all 3, though. So that's perfect. And then you're going to use a swift action to, I'm guessing, do some sort of dagger attack.
I'm going to absolutely do that.
Cool. And since they're grappled... the grappling is only happens when there's effects that's rolled.
Okay, so
that's
they would
perfect.
They would be grappled. Yeah.
Yeah, they would be grappled.
And then grappling does what to my...
Let's see. Ensnared, acrobatics with difficulty equal to the number of the effects. How many effects did you roll? 1 or 2?
2.
2. Awesome. So they'll need 2 successes. Against insert difficulty of exploit action reduced by 1. Grappling weapon. If the grappling weapon is a melee weapon. Weapons wielder may not attack. Blah, blah, blah. Further, the attacker may not move away from the attack without releasing the target. Okay, so basically you have the net like down over them. You can't back up unless you let go of the net. At least that's what it looks like. Which I may negate that because it's you're throwing it. Anyway, you don't get any bonuses to attack for when they're grappled. It's just their movement and stuff that's limited.
Totally cool. So I'm going to use 2 momentum, taking us down to 3 for swift action. That's a 10 and a 1. So that's 2 successes or 3 successes.
Logan, you're muted.
Yep, I realize that. 3 successes, 2 momentum generated, so you you basically come out even from what you just spent.
Cool. And I am stabbing at them with my dagger. And 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna re-roll this 4 because of my talent. It's another 6, so 7 damage.
7 damage. Does your dagger do anything special? Are there any effects on it?
Only if I exploit
only
first.
The exploit? Cool. Awesome. But
I
7
will,
points...
however, spend 2 momentum for a secondary target, so I hit 2 of them instead of just 1.
Cool. So the first one and the secondary target takes half, I believe?
Half.
Okay, cool. So that's 7. That would be reduced to... We'll round up. We'll say 4. Yeah, because I think we round up in Conan. I think I remember reading that.
Yeah.
So 7 points of damage to the first one. You stab him with your knife, and it goes straight through him to the point where like your hand is starting to go into the body and the hole that your dagger left. As it goes and extends into the second one, hurting them both significantly badly. The first one falls down like dead. The second one kind of staggers a bit as now the net drapes and drags heavy on the front of him as you pull out the dagger from him. Really awesome. Perfect.
And then I will minor action just kind of bring my dagger back up to defend.
Awesome. Are you regaining? You're using that to regain your guard.
Yes.
Cool. Roll me a parry, please.
That's not great. That's 1 success.
1 success. Yep, that's all you need. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. Fred.
So I want to do a couple of things. First, I want to use my minor action to get over to the captain. I assume he's like our captain. I assume he's close enough that falls under just like movement.
Yeah, so you'd be able to move kind of up and get to where the top of the stairs would be. You're not able to get right next to him, but you definitely can kind of move and shift around as you go around the mast, seeing Katrina kind of hunkered down there, continue on up the stairs, and Asim is fighting those, kind of holding off 3 individuals, just stabbing 1 as you make your way up. It does look like there are a handful that are going to start making their way around to that, or toward your direction. I will say, since you're backing, no, because you stabbed through, there wouldn't have been somebody next to you. Yeah, you chopped off that dude's arm. He's not going to attack you when you run away. Perfect. But yeah, definitely can get up to the top of the stairs, that top deck where the home is.
Awesome. And there are folks over there with the captain trying to kill him.
They still haven't gotten up yet. It looks like you've managed to very quickly loop your way around and get there in order to block them off. So it's you and Tidus on the opposing sides, the opposing stairwells, defending this area. Hey, sir, get your nose out of that. You're not a garbage dog. I love you. Sorry. But yeah, it's you and Tidus on opposite sides, defending these stairwells. If you wanted to, I'd let you swipe out at one of the ones that Asim has, or one of the ones that are working their way around as you're making your way up there, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I do think that's what I want to do. I'll swipe at one of the ones making their way around.
Cool.
Is that just a normal attack, or are you going to make me do something else for it?
Just a normal attack is fine.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
I don't have enough doom to make you guys do anything else, because you guys don't give me any doom.
Sucks to suck.
Wow! Great! Cool!
I like it.
Wow! I expected that from... Wow, Shelby's wearing off on you. I don't like this. I hate
Just a couple of scoundrels. Just a couple of scoundrels.
That's right.
No, I really want to call my mom. My friends are being mean.
That's 1 success.
1 success. Awesome. That'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Oh, that's 1 too many dice. Hold on. Okay, so that is 5 points of damage, 1 of which is an effect. And so that's 7 points of damage because the effect is vicious.
You rolled 2. How many effects did you roll?
I just rolled 1 5.
Okay. So that would be... Okay, so it was 5 points of damage before the effect.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, you're right. That would be 7. As you cut through, you hit this guy in the mid calf, and slice through, and you watch as he falls to the ground. As you swiftly run by, unable to, or not having to provoke an attack of opportunity because homie is taking a knee real quick, figure out what's wrong with his leg. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Anything else? That was your major action and your movement. Minor action for anything?
I don't know. That's it.
All right. Cool. All right. We're going to go to the crew on crew before we go to my turn. Well, we're going to take a quick break before my turn, but, or the pirate's turn. But I need all of you guys to roll a d20. At this point, with the amount of pirates that are coming over and crossing to the other ship, DC, or the test number is going to be increased to a 14. So, sorry. It would decrease, not increase. Yeah. So it dropped from a 10 to a, we'll make it a 6.
Oh.
Did you just get a natural 1, Aislinn? I hate you.
I connected with the crew.
Does that count, Logan,
What?
for momentum or no?
No, this doesn't
Oh,
count
yeah.
toward momentum. This is just a straight, like, this is more of like a contest to see, so that way I don't have to roll a bunch of like pirate combat, which will take, a half
Forever.
hour. So how many successes? So 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 out of 5. I also rolled 4. So Aislinn, since you rolled the natural 20, or the natural 1, go ahead and just give me a straight d20.
Okay.
Rollies.
2.
Yes.
All right. Your crew is still maintaining. The crew is still
Angry
maintaining.
face.
It's still like you're definitely not taking losses, but your crew is still definitely holding their own for the time being. As you can see, Tidus and now Fred up on up at the helm, looking over. You can see Deimos getting frustrated and pointing and yelling. At this point, you can't quite hear what he's saying over the roar of battle, but what you can hear and can see is an additional 2 groups of pirates jumping down into the fray at this point. And looking across the deck of the pirate ship, there are about what look to be probably about closer to 40 to 50 pirates on your ship. Looks about half. Looks like there's very much between like 70 or so pirates that are ready to like continuously hop on board now that these 2 ships are like tied into it and tied together. And so it's very, very much going to either be a war of attrition or something's got to give at some point. But in this moment, as you guys are kind of staring and seeing this almost continuous wave of pirates coming in, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. That way we can refresh and get going for the last little bit of our first session of this journey. All right, we'll be right back, folks. See you in a minute. right, we're back. Awesome. I clicked mine on accident. But yeah, hi everybody. We're back. The pirates are going to do some things. They're starting to flood the ship. The crew of the Ebony Rose, while they are valiantly holding off the pirates as best they can, now kind of being pushed back from this deck-to-deck confrontation around past, closer to the mast, being shifted and moved to really, really protect the helm. The one thing Deimos is going to do is he's going to have some of his crossbowmen shoot down, not toward you, because that cost me doom, and you all haven't given me any doom to use on you, but down toward crew members and Captain Zahar. So let's check that real quick. That's 2 natural 1s and a 5, which are not against you, so that makes me sad. But those are going to start peppering the crew. A couple, I'm just going to roll 1 general damage roll for all. Cool. That was a total of like 2 damage. But still, 2 damage spread across a good amount of the crew. You start to see as these bolts are coming in. Some of them aren't really even differentiating between pirate and crew. So there are some that are like skimming the tops of some of the pirates as they're embedding themselves in the crew of the Ebony Rose. But the crew is starting to kind of shift and turn. Katrina, your position becoming compromised at this point as pirates are starting to flood around. You're going to get a couple rounds of attacks as they weren't expecting you to be there. And like as you're like, hi, like I would imagine like you have some of your bandages and healing materials in one hand, but like the other hand you definitely
and then the saber in the other. Like
yeah, you definitely have like some sort of weapon like out and ready to go as like you're like using both hands while like holding the saber awkwardly. But 2 attacks are going to come. Come in at you. The first one is going to be that's a 12, so that one's going to miss. But the second one, that's a 10, so that is going to hit. Unless you want to use your reaction to try to parry.
I am going to use my reaction to parry.
Yeah, that's a doom.
I know, but I have such low hit points.
I'm just really excited because
you're just happy that I gave you doom.
Yeah, because I'm literally gonna spend it in like 2 seconds. So go ahead and make a for you. That's gonna be a parry test.
Yep. Those somehow are 2 successes.
2 successes. So as this cutlass from this pirate comes down at you, you manage to get your saber up and block it just in the nick of time. As you do so, a crossbow bolt is going to come streaming down toward Tidus, and that will be a success for...
I will defend.
Oh, well, fuck me. Cool. I'll save the damage roll, and I'll roll again, so that for me, that'll be another ranged attack. Against your... for you, that'll be acrobatics.
Not parry?
No, so for melee it's parry. For a range attack it's acrobatics, and then for a threaten or like a mental attack it would be discipline. Okay.
So that's 1 success.
1 success. I also got 1 success. So tie goes to like it becomes indifferent at that point. So you take damage. So that is let me double check cross reference these guys again. Crossbow has Unforgiving, which gives me Vicious and Intense. And Intense is... Okay, if I do more damage. So that'll be 4 points of damage to you.
Point of order. Unforgiving only takes effect if the target is exploited prior to the attack. Unless I'm wrong.
No,
I could be wrong.
No, you're right. I've been running it wrong the entire time because I just looked for where the X's were. So you take 3 points of damage, 3 points of damage. It would have been 5. 3 points of damage. I did my math wrong. 3 points of damage instead of 5. And then what is your armor soak?
1.
Yeah, so you'll take 2 points of damage at that point. As the arrow comes whizzing by, the guy in front of you who you stabbed through the first guy is going to try to get out of the net. Which, when you threw the net, you got How many?
Two
I think
effects.
2 effects. So I needed a natural 1. Oh no, because I said the other guy was helping. So I'll say with that, the third guy helping out, we'll reduce it to a D1 at that point, because I allowed you to get multiple people. And so he's able to pull the net off, but that takes his major action. His minor action, he's going to actually put his guard up against you. And then the third guy is going to try to hop up and around and like finagle his way through and try to stab at you. Which I believe your parry is up, but since it's a 2 and 2, doesn't do anything. So that's a 12 for me, and he misses as he kind of swipes out at you and just duck to the side. Awesome.
That'd be quick and tight.
2 are going to start running up the stairs toward you, Fred. Only 1 can get to you, so they'll make a swipe at you. That'll be a success. Do you have your guard up? No, I don't think so. You do?
I have a shield.
Oh, you have your shield though. Okay, cool. So that'll deal... Okay, that's what... Oh, wow. That's a lot of 5s and 6s. So that's 2, 4, but the Cutlass has Fearsome and Vicious. Vicious does an additional, so that'll be 4, 8, just in 8 points of physical damage. So you'd roll your shield soak against that as well, or your soak plus your shield.
Yeah.
Soak.
My shield soak is 5. I just rolled that.
Okay.
And then I have 1 point of soak across, so 6.
6 points. So that would be, so you take 2 points of damage instead, and then you are going to take 4 points of... Where's Fearsome at?
Correct.
You're going to take 4 points of mental damage as well, which would be reduced by your courage.
So that's 2 points of physical and 4 points of mental, you said?
Correct. What's your courage, though? I think you would have pretty high courage.
My courage is 3, so it's
3,
1 point
so
of mental.
1 point. Yep. 2 and 1. Yeah. With that, and then we got 2 on Awesome. Even though, like, at this point, Awesome, you're starting to kind of be turned with those 2 as fellow Ebony Rose crew members are starting to kind of, like, form a line with you closer to the center. And as the pirates just keep flooding at this point, it's very much like Thermopylae, like, style. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys are just smushing together. So 2 against you. You're parrying, which means I need both those tests to come out as a D, or both those tests come out as a D2. So that is unsuccessful for me on both of those for the minions. Yeah. That sucks. However, at this point, we're in this gridlock, and those of you, Fred and Tidus, you can see very much so that Captain Zahar is like in this state of like the fight is going well. Like you're definitely not losing as many men as he thought you would in this confrontation. But looking over on the other ship, there is definitely a point of like, well, 18 can only do so much against so many. And even with the additional forces of like you guys helping out. Oh, you know what? Zuri, I keep forgetting Zuri because Zuri's swinging around. I'm gonna put a couple of tags on Zuri, but it'll be yeah. Hey, that's a natural 1 for one of those, so one of them will be successful. Swinging up at you for holy shit! Oh my god, cool. So when normally like I feel bad for dealing as much damage as I did to Fred, Fred at least has the soak and the shield. Zuri, I rolled pretty much the exact same roll I rolled for Fred. However, instead of rolling a 3 on my fifth die, I rolled a 2. So that's going to be that's 8, 10 points of physical damage as you're swinging. What's your soak? You're muted.
You said 8 or 10. What did you
It
say?
would be 10 points of physical damage.
Okay.
What's
so
your
down
soak?
to 8 with my soak.
Down to 8 with your soak.
Yeah.
What's your vigor?
It is 8.
8. Okay. So the cool thing is, you're going to take 2 harm. Not only because you got 5 or more, or took 5 or more damage, but also because you were reduced. Your vigor was reduced to 0. So you'll take 2 harm, which is like halfway to death, almost death. In this case, these are wounds, and you're also going to take 4 mental damage, as these cutlasses have a pretty ferocious bite to them as well. Do you have any mental soak or courage?
No,
Cool.
so I
you'll take
automatically.
all 4 of those. And what is your resolve?
It's 7.
7. Cool. So you're
And
good.
then-
You're good there.
No, I think I take 1 trauma because I had already have 1 for the resolve.
You already have 1. No. So it has to be 5 in that moment. So since you
Oh,
only,
in
you
the
only took-
moment? Okay.
Yeah, it's either 5 in the 5 damage like at that one time, or reducing you to 0 of that item. So like since you have 7,
Okay.
you're perfectly fine. You're at what? That would be 2 now for your courage or for your resolve. For what
Yeah.
you have left in your resolve pool. Yeah, cool. So I'll say with that too, it's enough of a cut where it cuts you down. It hits the rope, and has you kind of fall and tumble into this fray.
In it? No.
Not in a way, like more of like where people are kind of parted out of the way, like, and you are able to use the bodies to break your fall and like reduce your speed. So a bunch of people are knocked over, but you're able to stand up and kind of like get yourself and like do a couple blocks as you're backing up closer and closer to where Asim is, and where Katrina is kind of being pushed to. In this moment, the almost entire deck of the ship occupied by members of the crew of the Devil's Shadow. You look up as the green is now turning to almost like mixing green with blues and reds, as it's almost turning into fire.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
It seems bad.
Seems bad. And you watch as moving from the helm to the top, like to the deck of the ship where it looks like they could walk over or jump down, the sorcerer is starting to make his way to the railing, as he's continuing to incant and do perform whatever ritual he's performing. With that, I think we're gonna end our first session.
Oh.
I think we're gonna end it mid-fight. I don't think I want to finish it. I think we're gonna leave it on the cliffhanger of what are the odds. Because if we continue, this is like a whole other probably hour. So trying to resolve this. So instead, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make you guys wait 2 weeks and think about what you want to do, knowing the fact that eventually you're gonna be overrun by pirates. Because even though I only have I have 0 doom now. Even though I only have 0 doom, I still have 60 pirates. So we're doing all right. But yeah.
Do we keep our momentum, or do we start off with new ones like focus?
Where are you guys at?
Fortune. I think we're at
should be
5?
at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That sound right?
Yeah.
I'll consult the rules for in between session momentum. I believe my heart is telling me that it should be kept because we're still in the same scene or in the same moment. But I'll consult the rules. I don't know if momentum resets upon the end of a session. I'm gonna say for similar purposes, since we're still in this scene, actually no, y'all did some fucking great things. You can all get your fortune points back. You're back to full. Because it won't matter because I start back up with doom that's equal to your fortune at the start of a session. So that's actually perfect for both of us because then I'll have 15 doom and you guys will have your fortune points that I don't think a lot of you spent, which is cool. Yeah, awesome. Perfect. It's great. We're doing things. So really quickly go around. I want to go around the horn again and let everybody properly introduce themselves in terms of who they are, what they do, where we can find you, and all that good stuff. So while we're doing that, we're gonna start. I was gonna start with Zuri, but there he's back.
Awesome.
I love that it's in your beard now too. Your beard is part of it. I love it. That's great. Awesome. I think that's beautiful. I love it. That's great. We're gonna start.
There we go.
Okay.
We're gonna start over on the left hand side of our screen here with the wonderful Shelby.
Hey guys, I'm Shelby, aka Zuri, aka in some like real deep trouble. I feel
Real deep
like
shit.
just some real deep trouble, but it's okay because I have 2 weeks to figure it out. You can find me on all socials. Wish Warlock. I am one half of Whiskey Reacts as well, where me and Haley react to our favorite forms of entertainment while drinking whiskey. I am also going to be on the Red Hare Inn, I believe next month, at the end of next month or sometime next month in August, doing some spooky shit. So catch me on that. And that's me.
Spooky shit.
Awesome. Next up, Katie.
Ooh, hi. I once again am Katie. You can find me on Twitter at KHWalsh, WALSH_. I am new to streaming. This is my first multiple session game being streamed. But hopefully you will see more of me in the future. And at the very least, you will see more of me in 2 weeks.
Nope, you muted yourself.
My button doesn't work. Shelby, shut up. Shut up. I did. There wasn't even. Nope. The second I said that, no. Yeah. Sometimes when I press my mute button on my mic, it I have to double press it. Anyway, Shelby, shut the. Lucky we're not rated R, because then I could say more than one F-bomb, and I'm not gonna say more than one F-bomb. I hate you so much. I loathe you. We need to have a talk after this, Shelby. It's about what's going to happen to Zuri. Cool. Next, the wonderful Andrew.
What's up, everyone? I'm Andrew J. Alandi. I'm Duralath in the chat, also twitch.tv/Duralath. My stream's been on hiatus, but I will be returning with some more Street Fighter 3 action somewhere down the road. I don't know. You can find me here doing this wonderful campaign every other Saturday, waking up early for our West Coasters, but definitely loving it. You can also find me Tuesdays at twitch.tv/fortnerd.com. That is fortnerd, the word dot and then the word com. As part of the Dreadful Tales multi-arc series, I play a wonderful elven samurai there. And beyond that, if you're into Vampire the Masquerade, check out Vampire the Masquerade Port Saga. It's the first ever scripted audio drama for Vampire the Masquerade. I play Dante Mendoza, the primogenitor of the Tremere clan. So season 1 already finished. We're getting season 2 underway. So check that out wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Stitcher, Google, iHeartRadio, wherever. Vampire the Masquerade Port Saga. And above all, remember to love yourself today, because again, you, my friends, are all worth it.
Unless Shelby decides to yell at me. No, I'm kidding. I just give Shelby shit because she likes to give me shit, and it's, yeah. Anyway, stop. Don't. We're not doing this. We're live. We're not doing this here. Aislinn, tell us about you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Aislinn. I'm $StoreDM, $_store_DM on technically Twitch, though we're moving to YouTube, and on Instagram, which is most of my stuff, where I do a lot of crafting for the tabletop community, because I, with my ADHD, cannot pick a singular hobby. So I do all of them. And I run the Art of Adventure creator stream, where I bring creators from across the world together to play one-shots of D&D and then make terrain and minis and what have you for the next group of creators. Our next show is premiering on YouTube on the 20th. We will be doing a giveaway for that will be on my Instagram as well.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Tristan.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Tristan at +1crafting on Instagram. Also got an Etsy shop because I take this stuff and turn it into. That's not going to focus. This stuff. So I make
It's
terrain
really
for
beautiful.
tabletop games. So yeah, I make stuff, and I'm really bad about posting on Instagram, but I've tried to get better at it. Yeah, that was a fun build. And I played anything Logan will let me play. So that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. And I am Logan Hanley. I am the GM of this game. Heavy sigh. No, I'm kidding. This wonderful group of people that I am super excited to continue this adventure on in 2 weeks. I am also the dungeon master for the Ekrim expeditions over on the Red Hare Inn, which I am also the innkeeper of, where we do D&D 5e campaigns, mini-series, one-shots, homebrew content creation, all that stuff. So yeah, come check us out there. All the socials, the Red Hare Inn, even the Tiki-Takis, even though I don't do much of that. But yeah, always welcome to come on in and have a drink with us. But with that, I'd like to thank our sponsors as I pull up the list that we have. First off, Session Zero Clothing, which is D&D inspired streetwear that you can purchase and buy. I have some of theirs. It's really, really cool. Some of their designs are really, really awesome. There's one with a drider that's like hanging upside down from the back that I absolutely love. Use the code word order, all caps, at checkout for 15% off. Next, Norse Foundry, amazing company of artisan dice makers. Use the code TIO, all caps, 15 for 15% off at checkout there as well. Next, Mithril Armory, another amazing company that creates the Tin 20s, which are these foldable D20 that you can kind of like. It's really cool. You get like a piece of sheet metal and you got to fold and put it together, and it comes out as this really cool D20 that you craft yourself, as well as the sketch dice where you can kind of draw and color and write on them in your own way. Use the code initiative for 10% off their web store as well. And then last but not least, Umbral Oculus dice, the amazing eldritch being that is Terran, who runs Dune here currently, also has done, oh my god, spooky game. I forgot what it was called. I was in it. I don't remember.
Terrifying. It's called Terrifying.
It was terrifying. It was really scary. But Taryn is here on TO. She's also over on the Red Hare Inn where she plays Eden. But she makes dice. These really beautiful Umbral Oculus dice, which notoriously roll poorly for me, but they will roll amazing for you. She curses my dice, but she won't curse yours. Use the code initiative for 10 points. 10% off a full set of the dice that are in her dice store. Yeah.
Point of order. She also has a really cool like subscription thing through her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's like every 3 months you get a D20.
Yeah. So I believe that's through her Ko-Fi too. Yeah. So head on over. I absolutely love the D2s, the logos. Hang on, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, it works. The logos are absolutely wonderful, and like she finds ways. These are like super artisan, like hand painted, hand crafted, hand molded herself. Definitely worth the money, as long as you're not me, who rolls really poorly with them. I will say I say it no matter where I go. It's a warning for everybody but me. Yeah, but they're beautiful, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if you can...
Definitely check out Taryn. But yeah, other than that, folks, we'll be back in 2 weeks, which according to my calendar is the 30th of July. Same bat time, same bat channel here at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. If you're someone like Tristan, it's 9 o'clock Central Time. But yeah, folks, until next week, stay safe and happy adventures. Bye.